had a variable life. I've done everything I ever wanted to do, and everything I set out to do, I accomplished.
Can I
I had
stop
an
you?
amazing life.
Can I
Incredible.
stop you? Can I
Yes.
stop you? I believe your perspective is off already at the root, because you started telling me you had an amazing life and did everything you wanted to do. Somebody who does
Yes.
everything they want to do doesn't wind up with an amazing life. They wind up with a destroyed life, because usually you got to do what you need to do and what needs to be done, not what you want to do.
I would agree with that, to the point where if you do not know yourself, and you don't know that you're just a conscious observer in a two-dimensional visionary state of personification, you're not going to understand the base of your own existence,
Which is
the fact that you're just a meat sack with a conscious observer that will eventually perish.
so does the okay, so we're pure consciousness and awareness having a human experience. So we're non-beingness using beingness, correct?
I'm sorry?
We are
I'm on a phone.
we are a non-physical beingness using a physical beingness.
Pretty much,
We are
we're a
consciousness and awareness
beast.
inhabiting a body, incarnating, which means incarne mitsu. So I agree with that. Now, where do we go with that? Why would somebody
Well,
use that experience to write a story that is not mutual for themselves and every other self?
because in the base of it, you are actually alone. You are totally isolated and alone within your meat sack. And the only thing that makes you relevant is interaction with other conscious beings on this plane of existence and their interpretation of your mannerisms, your personality, your personification.
I got to
And you
stop
are
you again.
just,
What makes me relevant, right, is the purpose and the creation that I co-create with. What makes me relative is what you described, right? The ability to relate to one another. That's what gives me relativity. What gives me relevance is the relationship that I have with self and the creational force. But continue, please.
what if your interpretation mathematically and on a definitely theoretical quantum level is a misconception?
Say
What if
that again.
what you believe to be functional reality, or the what I consider to be the constant, and we being the persistent, that's all mathematics. You are a sum and total of an equation, period. Everything that you interact with has divine proportion. That means that this entire third dimensional plane is governed by a mathematical equation of divine proportion. And you give an observation that that's the be all end all. It's not.
I don't know where you get the conclusion of what I've determined, but if I may, if you're willing to share, can I ask about your home life, your upbringing as a child?
Yeah, actually, I was born in Liberty, Kentucky, to Southern Baptist, hellfire and brimstone.
And
Got a little,
that's why we see such a drastic pendulum swing, right? Because there is a program here, as you say, and there's tendencies. So when
they were
somebody's born
vicious
to,
motherfuckers to me. I
right,
mean, by the time I was 9 years old, they had done showed me the movie The Burning Hell and baptized me, and the devil was going to get me around every corner. So I sought the devil out,
right.
and I wanted more than to be a
Now
backwoods Liberty, Kentucky hillbilly.
you realize that the quote unquote devil we all talk about as an archetype or a state of consciousness is so clever that it was using the quote unquote religious people to drive you away from them to, as you say, to seek it directly. So they're all devils.
So are
You
you saying
understand?
they're right? So are you saying
No,
they're right?
no, I'm saying in this simulation, the majority of folks are evil. Evil is just live backward. They live backward, so they're inherently evil until they become redeemable
Right.
through consciousness and awareness of truth versus relative subjectivity. Right. So
Now
what I'm
that
telling you
is an
is that
intelligent
all of these
statement
religionists
that makes
are
most sense.
devils. All of these religionists are devils in their own right, and they're claiming to know God and trying to push you, put it into you. And because they don't really know the way, they drive you away from the true creational force and conscience, as you say, to seek the devil directly. It happened with all of us. We all have that same path to some degree, just more or less on different levels, whether it's the public school system, the cultural appropriation, the movies and the TV and the music, our parents, right? Our fake religion systems, they all drive us to go seek to do evil on some level directly, right?
Some more than others.
Simulation.
Some more than others. And yes, it is absolutely a simulation. It is a projection
Were you
in
sexually
a
abused,
fractal
sir?
form.
Were
I'm
you
sorry,
sexually
sir?
abused?
No, not at all. Nor have I sexually abused
Bohemian
anyone.
Grove.
I'm sorry?
So,
You ever been to Bohemian Grove?
No. No, I'm not Alex Jones.
California. Have you spent much time in LA?
I spent a little time everywhere. Yeah, like LA, Chicago, New York. When you're on tour, you go where you're scheduled to go. You do what you're told to do. You become who they tell you to become.
now, would you characterize yourself as heterosexual, bisexual,
Oh,
homosexual?
I am a masculine, heterosexual male.
Okay. So, what is the thing about the presentment with you where I get this dark feminine?
Because that's the personification that most attracts the individuals that I seek to educate.
Okay.
See, I travel the darkness and I enlighten people on the fact that the concepts and the personifications that they've developed from birth to that moment are a misconception, an illusion.
I understand what you're saying, but how deep do we have to go before it becomes staring into the abyss? You become the abyss. Aren't there some quote unquote illusions that might be productive for the simulation, right? The idea of
Well,
truth,
that's
right
why I
from wrong.
say we
Let's say on
want
the
to
highest
sit-
level, truth doesn't exist and right and wrong doesn't exist. It's just part of an imagined existence here. Wouldn't it be productive for all of us to accept that illusion that's part of this simulation, an imagined existence, so we could live the most, again, beneficial, empowering, inspiring, loving, euphoric life that we could live without having to go to drugs and drink and bizarre sexual activities and all the rest of it?
Well, if people are partaking in such things, which I used to do. I was a hedonist, believe me. But now that I understand the equation, I realize that we have the ability to take our influence into uninfluenced areas and create, manifest, and become more than the victims of the constant.
You sound like a
Heaven
Jordan
TV.
Peterson Aussie wannabe cupcake.
No.
You
Really?
seeked out Satan, huh? You seeked out Satan. You look like this Aussie cupcake Jordan Peterson guy. What the hell? And then, I mean, you said you don't know about Bohemian Grove, but you knew it was Alex Jones who reported on that. Very interesting
Well, what?
optics, Mr. Aussie Jordan Peterson cupcake guy.
Jordan Peterson cupcake guy. That's the best you can come up with?
No, Aussie looking
Come
fucker
on.
too. You got that dark
Come
Aussie.
on.
You seek Satan though. I guess what is that what he told us all to?
No,
Just curious how
I
that went.
said at one point in time, as rebellion against Southern Baptists, I sought out the devil because they tried to frighten the hell out of me with it. As
So
a
you go to
child,
Satan to wipe out the believers, right? Just
you know,
curious.
to understand what they're afraid of, to understand
Is
fear
that-
itself.
I got to ask a question. So, are you kind of going for an Aussie look? What kind of look are you going for? Just you got
Well,
this.
if you ever go back and have the intelligence to look up the thrill kill cult, you will understand.
Cult.
the band.
Okay, cult. You're okay.
Thrill
Now it's
kill
making
cult is
sense.
the band, and if you don't know
Right,
it, then
right,
you're
the name of
probably
the
a
band.
young fuck.
Promote it.
You're a
Promote
puppy.
it. Promote the cult mentality, right? The darkness.
No, if I was
The
doing that on
darkness.
the Cult of Axis, which is on Facebook.
Do you eat
Yeah, I have the
cupcakes?
Cult of
Do
Axis.
you like cupcakes? Do you like cupcakes?
No, I don't particularly like you.
No, I asked if you like cupcakes.
You're a cupcake, and I don't particularly like
Okay.
you.
Okay, Mr. Ozzy Peterson. I just had to ask a few questions.
You have to compare me to something because you cannot accept the fact that I am not a stereotype. You can't observe
Look
me
how you're
as
dressed
the
and what you're
real.
wearing, but you're telling me you're not a stereotype.
Yeah, I mean,
You're telling me you're
ironically,
not on a
it's like
bandwagon.
it doesn't
You're
really
telling me
get
you're
any.
not on a fucking.
One
You're telling me you're not on a fashion,
please.
a fashion
Thank you.
guru. You know,
Thank
you're telling me
Yeah,
it's
Thank
interesting
nothing
to
to
guy.
offer. He has nothing to offer.
Thank you. So it's ironic
Should
that you
I
come in
smudge
here,
you guys?
sir, you're wearing skull jewelry. You're dressed in all black. You have dyed hair. You know, it doesn't get any more stereotypical. You're drinking Bud Light and chain smoking Marlboro.
Whoa! I don't drink alcohol.
Oh, whatever you were
No,
saying.
no.
My apologies then. That's right. That doesn't fit the profile. So what pills and powders are you into, sir? Because then we'll, sure we'll get something there. No?
What
You
blood type?
cannot truly achieve a state of enlightened peace in this environment on pharmaceuticals or illicit drugs.
How
Okay.
much
Not
did
gonna
you
happen.
do before you figured that out?
Well, I want to know what you
when I
find
got stabbed to
with
death.
drugs.
I was running with a biker gang after the music industry. I was in
What
a gun
kind
and
of
knife
fucking
bar.
biker gang runs like you guys? Holy shit!
Which one did they pick?
Hell's
Three
Cupcake.
wheelers?
The
Three
hell
wheelers?
cupcakes? Oh my god! Branching out.
Careful. Be very
I
careful.
got a
on
lot
your
of
trip.
friends who are bikers, buddy. For you to say you're a biker, they would look at
I'm
you and.
not a biker no more. No, not by any
Oh.
shapes of means.
So how'd you get
Hell's
out of the
Angel
biking
food cake.
world?
That's
What'd you
a
do?
joke. Hell's
I got
Hell's
stabbed
Angel
to
food
death
cake.
at a gun
Good
and
joke,
knife
Pat.
bar.
Were you patched?
I
Were you
hid out in
patched?
Chicago.
Were you patched?
That
Were you
was
patched?
how I
Oh,
was
you
stabbed.
patched in.
Were you patched in?
Yes.
Okay, so which
I was
biker
an
club
MC.
did you roll with? If you're gonna claim you were with the biker club,
no.
What was your cut? Whose
No,
cut you
no,
wear?
yeah, you
no,
can make a
no.
claim like that. They're gonna ask you, and you have all right to say who are you patched in with.
Not
Nope.
only do you not have a right, but you're required to by them. They have
Really
to know
is.
what patch you're wearing.
I'm sorry, but I don't ascribe to the RICO
You're
Act.
just more full of shit than we.
Yeah, just like you don't know Alex Jones did the Bohemian Grove, but you said Alex Jones. You're a fucking cupcake, Jordan Peterson looking gothic Aussie fuck stereotype. Calling me stereotypical. Look at you,
One
bro.
more chance to offer
Well,
something.
he's
You
just
need
waiting
to
for the
offer.
leash.
What?
He's just waiting for the leash. Let every American slave heal. That's HEAL. Do you see the collar on his throat already? He just needs someone to get a leash for him and walk
That
him.
part right
This
there.
power has no binding. This is to keep
Bullshit.
people from cutting my throat, like you.
That'd be the first thing I'd grab to take you to the ground.
There is
face
no
first.
evidence on the record anywhere that I've cut any
No
throat of
threats
any
to anybody,
creature.
but if I was in
Wow.
One at a
Interesting statement.
time. One at a time.
Who you're patched into? You said you're patched. I want to know who you're riding with.
Rolling
Methadone
Knights
pat.
of the HA.
Oh no.
Yeah. I took 9 stab wounds at a gun and knife bar. I went to Chicago to hide out, and they got busted by the Fed.
I ain't gonna lie,
Bottom
he's from
line.
Chicago. He's probably a pretty fucking tough dude, just by the nature of the fucking place.
I'm not a tough dude. I hung out on Clark, Belmont. You can travel whole
shit. You've been through some shit if you lived in Chicago.
Yep. Right
Especially
there, and where the
area.
alley is on Clark
Clark
and
and Belmont is Boys Town.
Yeah,
Why does
part
it
of
take
town.
a
the fuck
place?
is?
Why does it take a place?
Why did I what? I wanted to, at that point in time in my life, I guess, prove that I was somebody without being me, being that somebody.
Kind of hard to do, ain't it?
Not
Yeah,
now.
you realize you were also doing that here. You came in here to enlighten me and the rest of us about how much we don't know about life. And you still have yet to do
No. About
Bingo.
the entertainment industry. Not life, the entertainment industry. Big difference.
So
How do you
didn't get
fucking
in-
know? I worked with Wave Audio, you motherfucker. I've worked with people like Snoop Dogg, Garth Brooks, Dave Matthews, fucking all kinds of dumb shit. So is some many people
Hey, that
online.
guy next to you did
I've
balls
got
in
a
your
list.
mouth.
You gonna question motherfuckers not knowing the entertainment industry, you Aussie looking fucking cover band, motherfucking tranny looking fuck, cupcake.
I literally
Who seeked
came
out
on and
Satan,
said,
who admitted you seeked out Satan instead of going for the light. I'm gonna go for the dark and seek Satan out, and then you come here and try and tell all these fuck people your fucking ways when you don't even
I'm
like
not
what the fuck, dude?
telling
Look at you.
anybody my fucking ways. I'm telling you, I've been in the entertainment
No, but we don't know
industry.
the entertainment business while you're looking like a cover band fucking cupcake Aussie fucktard. Yeah, we don't know nothing about the entertainment business when Paul
Karaoke
runs a show
Ozzy.
on YouTube and fucking you're tuning in like all of us watching it. We don't know anything about the entertainment business when everyone on this panel fucking comes up here and, you know, oh, media relations, you pogo fucking, you smell pogo. You smell cupcake
Yeah.
pogo.
And this is very entertaining. And again, I don't have a contract.
But you're not nationally known either, are you?
Are you?
international. This
I
goes
was.
known
Most certainly.
internationally at this
Most
point.
certainly. I have my own site on the internet. I speak with the folks at the UN, the Joint Chiefs
Hey,
of Staff, the International
Hey, just so you
Bureau.
know, people from the UK, people from all over the world watch all of us, you fucktard. They're worldwide known, you fucking cupcake cover band,
Yeah,
Jordan
I'm
Peterson
done with
fuck.
this guy. I got things I got to do. I'll be back. I'm in the background.
Go
You
ahead.
have delivered
You gotta
no
enlighten
evil
us about
upon
what
you.
you know.
But yet you guys are vicious, hateful people.
You guys, are you generalizing all of us? Just talk. Tell us what you know.
Yeah.
Do you
and
want me to
there is
hug and fuck
there-
you? Hug a
just
buddy,
like
fuck a
there's-
buddy?
Well, we can, because Snafu won't let him talk.
And just like this thing about love, there's plenty of room for love, but there's not enough of it. There's also room for hate because it's a balance of cycles. We
Is
all
that what
hate.
you think I present is hate?
No,
Even God
you
hated
never
Esau.
said that. But what you said was we hate. I want to clarify what I hate because you said we by using the term you, which is plural, meaning
Well, it
we.
seems to be the panel.
So
I can't
so I, as an-
differentiate which one of you
So
is
I, as a
speaking.
single
So right
creature,
now, who am I speaking to?
so I, as a single creature, am the one you are speaking to.
Okay,
Okay.
you're an earthling.
So I, as a single person, hate the things that we as single people do to each other.
Then
That
stop
is what
doing
I'm
it.
Disgusting.
against.
These people
And
are
you coming to
disgusting.
this
These
platform
people are disgusting.
trying to placate that about this industry that we don't know about while saying we don't communicate internationally. You're wrong, brother. We are proving, just like John Vance said, Americans have no morals. This is not a platform of morals. That's exactly what we're speaking on.
These
It's the
people are
morals
disgusting.
of learning how to communicate with each other, regardless of our hates and our considerations. I yield.
Did you
So
just say
by
Wizard was an
belittling me-
earthling? Is that what you just said when you said, who am I speaking to? And you're like, oh, an earthling? Is that what you just said to Wizard?
You're an earthling. Anybody that was born into this reality is whatever you want to call the plane that we walk on. whether it's flat, round, cube, or hyperdimensional. You were born into Earth, was given a name, and carried on. I choose
Have you
to
made
look at
children,
everyone
dude?
as being a
That
birth
doesn't work like that,
earthling.
dummy.
You will spend the rest of your life as a personification of all that you've become through experience, trying to figure out your existence and place in this reality.
That's your mission, brother.
That's what you guys are presenting.
That we haven't figured it out. We know better than to think we figured it out. We're waiting for things like you said you were going to tell us. What's going on in the entertainment industry, brother? You've got a lot we need to know. It sounded like when you initially interrupted.
Sorry.
Dummy.
Yes. I am sorry for interrupting. I'd like to hear the industry as well. Adrenochrome, Bohemian Grove, all the optics. Let's hear it. You seem
Look,
like a
man,
guy that would
I
know.
was a little bitty hillbilly kid that come out of Liberty, Kentucky. Hellfire brimstone. I wanted something more. I wound up in a small band. I wound up getting noticed. I wound up with Spotlight Productions.
We're not
I
trying
was in
to-
Fort
we're not
Wayne,
trying to-
Indiana, at a particular place. I got a phone call from Bill Behringer. Bill Behringer asked me if I wanted to go on the Sextus Ball tour through Kill Cult. I said, absolutely, I do. And that is when the biggest change in my life ever happened. Other than being stabbed to death. And my children.
Change. What was this change? Forget about getting stabbed to death. If we want to talk about knives, I got the most horrible story that happened directly to my family. So move past the stabbing. Horrible.
Well, I think Jay blowing the side of his fucking head off is pretty much.
Move past that because that's all fucking dark entertainment. I mean, if we wanted snuff films, we would have gone somewhere else. Come on.
Right. I understand. It's cool.
Go ahead and tell us about where we were wrong talking about the industry. And you're saying you know a bunch when I was literally talking about being in Uncle Luke from Two Live Crew's studio. This is a guy who went up against the Supreme Court to get that fucking little label on your album that says explicit lyrics. They said, you can't fuck with
That
me.
was the PMRC. And that was a bunch of fucking bullshit during the Satanic Panic. You know, I toured in 94, 95, man. And I was with the Sextasy Ball and the Thrill Kill Cult, God Lives Underwater, Lords
Are you
of
familiar with
Acid.
Two Live Crew? Are you familiar with Uncle Luke, Luke Skywalker, Luther Campbell, Two Live Crew? Are you familiar with how they went up against the First Amendment, your free speech? They didn't want you to say fuck on the, excuse my French for YouTube. They didn't want to say,
the same thing that Dee Snider, Frank Zappa, and John Denver did with the PMRC.
People took it to the frickin' Supreme Court and won. It's different. They all sat on his works. They all sat on his works. And I'm telling you, I was in his studio when a frickin' track from Biggie Smalls came in.
And I guarantee you he was an A&R guy. And
fuck the
he
police.
stood right over you. If you were truly there, you were being personified through A&R. And if you don't have an A&R representative and a road manager, a tour manager,
hire, you dipshit.
Oh, you're an independent studio gun? Is that what you're saying?
I do whatever I want in this fucking world. I've been independent since I figured out how stupid people like you are.
Why? Because at one time I allowed people to influence who I was.
Not knowing what you're signing and who you're signing it to.
I know exactly who I was signing it to.
Go study
and I know exactly what I was signing.
Find out different.
But I didn't realize that you have to sacrifice everything that you are, or you and breach a contract, and you know where that leads.
That's because you didn't read the contract in the first place, brother. You have to stipulate your desires.
You have lawyers to do that. And if you have lawyers to do that, You
Lawyers
probably
are
know
liars.
a little bit
Lawyers
about
are-
music
Lawyers are
law.
working for themselves.
Alright.
If you're trusting a lawyer, you're out of your mind. You haven't been paying attention to Paulie. You haven't been paying attention to Keith here. If you're trusting a lawyer, you're just really outside of fucking your realm.
If you sign a contract, you will have to have a need for a lawyer.
Objection.
Hearsay.
Hey, bro,
Objection.
this is a really
Hearsay.
This is
Here's
a really
saying
bad
objection.
showing for how much you're going to show us how you know more than everyone, and you know, are going. It just wasn't. It wasn't what it could be, right? Because you're
It
bringing
wasn't
lawyers,
meant to be. You blew
you're
it.
bringing lawyers in now, and
You blew it.
all the rest of it.
That's reality, man.
You have
You
no
keep running
credibility.
that
No. That's your reality.
Your
At
credibility
that
is gone.
time,
Dude, you work with the man, the system. You're part of it. You're fucking dressed in little
are
skulls
the
and fucking
beast.
goth wear.
You
And
are the
acting
beast.
like a little cupcake. What do
are
you
the
think these
beast.
people are gonna think?
You're the beast system right here in live, living color. Dark as you're trying to be, you're the fucking system. You're all about the system. You're walking.
If only Bud
Look,
Light,
Corey
Bud
Ham's
Light
right
definitely
next to you.
should get your information.
Excuse me? Was it-
Snafu, please.
you
Hey,
guys
listen.
are chaos and confusion.
Wait, hold on. Are you not
Oh, he
confused?
pulled a
Are you
town cop.
serious?
Yeah, I'm very serious.
What are we confused about? Name
Fuck
me.
you.
You
Jesus.
bring
That's
so
Talcottism, dude.
from the conversation to allow one person to speak at a time. You're animals in a pack.
No,
That's all
you've
that
been
you
telling
are.
us.
Doesn't work like that, dummy.
You're animals in a pack seeking some glory to satisfy self.
Pipe up, fat slave.
You've been stabbed 81 times now.
No, 9 times.
Oh, yeah, but 9 times you've told us. So, like, legitimately, you
It's
can
so-
regurgitate.
Dude,
I
you
was-
could
it's
put out an
a deal. It was a
album. That's
big
like 50
experience
Cent.
for
I
me.
shot 9 times. You could be like even better. I got stabbed 9 times.
It's irrelevant
out.
to this moment. You know,
The opposites
it's
are
just
high.
a sum and total of what I am at this point.
Dummy.
It's a learned experience.
Jeez, we all have that in common.
What are you learning right now? Just curious. What, like this moment, this second, this minute, what are you learning right? Are you learning anything?
How
Or- We're
inconsiderate
confused.
that your channel can,
You're a person.
how inconsiderate the entire panel talking over each other
This is my safe
can
space.
be.
Please respect it.
Oh my god, that is funny.
Well, I can't respect chaos and confusion. I can't respect disruption, and I can't, and by any means, respect someone who belittles another human being.
These
I
people are
asked what you
disgusting.
learned, not what
They
you
feel
feel,
like it.
not
This
your
is what I've
cupcake
learned from you
feelings,
guys.
not your fucking cupcake feelings.
These people are disgusting.
All right.
You
let's
finally
give
got
them
me
all-
up here. The darkest bastard that you could ever find that treads the dust of hell. And the best that you can do is,
Sir, you
display
don't
your own
understand
personal-
Sir, you don't understand. You've been coming here for weeks and months, and I knew who and what you were because I called you out. Now that you're up here, it's even more laughable. You're the darkest thing. Shaitan and all of its legion has to throw at me. Well, then, boy, am I going to have my way with Hollywood. Right? Are you kidding me, dude? This is exactly what I said when I didn't even know who you were, and I said, whoever you are, you're a weak, disempowered, pathetic, lowly, dark entity, and you are powerless, yet you think you influence the field. Poor showing, sir. You might want to like eat the head off a bat or sacrifice a child or do something, I guess, to like get me to feel like you're in some powerful, dark, controversial arena. You might want to harm some innocence in front of everybody, because when it comes to me, you're powerless. When it comes to folks like me, you're powerless, right? So you coming up here to warn me about the cacophony of disempowered folks who lie in Hollywood, who all mirror who and what you are, I'm not worried and concerned. I'm actually put at ease now. If that's all I have to deal with, I'm more at ease.
Yeah, right.
On a virtual state, I'm sure you are. But in an
So I'm
actual
the hate monster,
manifested
sir.
three-dimensional reality,
Why
you're
am I a
fucked.
hate monster? Why are you now using feeler terms when you said all of reality is basically an illusion? So your feelings are real? Well, we haven't heard that before. What is real? All of reality is illusion, except for my feelings and my opinion. So you're going to now tell me I'm hateful and all the other things when you came in here being disrespectful, douchey, arrogant, egoic, and then followed it up, the icing on the cake. You're one of the darkest bastards that Shaitan has ever put forth. You're a crazy person. You're insane. That's the bottom line here. You're an insane, confused, disempowered person who thinks they have it all together, right? Folks will say the same about me, so you're in good company. Don't think that when we flip this to a third party, they won't say everything Paulie just said about him is true about him too. So again, I guess that's the relativity that you speak about, right? That's the subjectivity.
Just an observation of
We're all making observations, right? That's all this is. We all look out, we look in, hopefully, faithfully, and then we report. And then we live life and we report again. We do the process over and over again. And I'm saying you realize I'm 33 years old. And I'm 33 years old, and you're how old, sir?
You're a puppy, then.
Right, I got it. I'm a puppy, but I'm still way more, apparently, according to the people, and maybe some awareness out there, wise, disciplined, willful, understanding, clear in my clarity, right? Concise in my linguistics, to a degree, right? At times, some places with some people. I don't see that with any of you. I was going to say you, but I'm now, I guess, typecasting. I don't see a presentment that is equivalent to mine, and maybe that's my ego. Maybe that's my arrogance.
Because your particular audience agrees with your particular observation. My audience happens to agree with my particular
right, but
observation.
You just did it again. You just did it again, wise old man, twice my age. You went to the audience to justify whether what you said was true or not. I'm saying I know what I'm saying to be true for me. Then there's the other process, which is everyone watching and making their own determination. My determination doesn't come from their determination.
Same here, if I might speak.
Influenced by your audience, believe me.
In what sense?
Like
I'm not claiming there's not some influence there. Okay, I'm asking you what you believe that influence is. Where does it start and where does it end, and how does it affect me and my presentment?
Starts at a subatomic level by suggestion. It starts with a cerebral thought projected that manifests.
Synapses, huh? Is that where we're coming from? Synapses?
Well, can I give my perspective here real quick? Because I come to this platform, and many people that watch this platform see that I am very similar to Paul. But yet even Paul and I agree that we are not the same and that there are differences. And when I first came to this platform, I tried to emulate Paul and be this ego character, and I can't do that. That's not my same psychiatry. But in other aspects, we agree on many things. You come to this platform with the intent of changing others. I came to this platform and all others with the intent to change myself, because I know I'm the only one I can change. In the process,
I have no intent to change anyone.
Doing that, let me speak. In the process of doing that, even City Hall gives you 3 minutes. In the process of doing that, I can only hope that my reflections upon myself and my changes will help others in determining what changes they need to go through themselves. I can't force it, and I can only explain it to you. I cannot comprehend it for you. I yield.
Right.
That is a very educated statement.
Okay, please, can I just talk to this being without everyone jumping in as soon as we all take a breath? Can he talk too, please? So, because I do a lot of talking. And if I do a lot of talking, he's going to do less talking. And if everyone else is talking, he's going to do no talking. So I'm always fascinated by this idea of me being perceived as an egoic individual, because I become more and more comfortable with aspects of self and other selves in this venue. Right. So it's like all I do is play off of the personality types. When I'm doing that, I'm doing you. Right. When I'm doing this guy, when I do the thing that I do that they all hate me for, I'm doing him and guys like him. Let me come in and reveal to you. The ironic part is oftentimes it's more true while I'm doing a bit. I'm proclaiming to be so great and so high and mighty while I'm saying I'm humble with humility and understand all of creation. I'm doing the bit of how these guys come into my broadcast. But the irony is they come in like that seriously. I'm doing a bit, but it's more true when I do it because I have lived a path and walked in a way. I'm not a part-time pseudo-spiritualist who takes this as a hobby. This is a whole life lived with a certain perspective that's gotten more and more strong and clear as time goes on, right? And I become more and more secure in standing with it and on it, right? So they don't, a lot of times folks are not getting what I'm doing when I'm doing it, that a lot of times I'm doing a bit or I'm amplifying who and what I am for the arena, right? Because it just feels natural. It's like if you're in a boxing ring, your energy is going to be amplified. You're going to hit harder. You're going to grunt louder. You're in the arena and folks are focusing on you, and there's supposed to be an influence and a feedback loop, right? It's supposed to be mutually beneficial to the fighter in the ring and the people watching.
Right, but I've seen this channel and you personally do some very unbeneficial things.
Such as?
A recent event that took place with a particular individual who expresses his idealism on his own channel and the infringement that took place upon that.
Say that again. Sir, please, can I talk to the being?
You're talking to me.
No, I'm saying that Snafu is like so chomping at the bit to eat cupcakes that he can't keep his hands off you.
Ditto, me.
I know that.
Fall back and let me have let me refocus the energy here. Let's
I
settle back.
personify this image just for people like Snafu to show that their ego-driven mentality is an unbridled beast.
Now, do you think that it's at all ironic, again, that you structured your presentment off of what other people would think and how to defeat their ego that you're not even sure exists completely unless you are, which is an insane ego because not everyone thinks like Snafu? So why you would structure your presentment and your lifestyle around what others would perceive through a assumed perception is the most egoic place you could be. Because what happens when you walk up to people like me? I just think you're a bozo because you're wearing a dog collar.
Like I said, there's no clasp on this. To keep people from cutting my throat.
Right. Nobody's trying to cut your throat, sir. I don't think anybody, if they have at one time, probably hasn't tried in a long time.
You live in the 808 brother.
Is the
You got
fucking
a
door
Hot
locked?
Topic membership, don't you? You got a fucking Hot Topic membership, I bet.
No. As a matter of fact, I just did a
It's
live stream
Spencer's.
on my venture house.
Yeah. You know what? You bring my name up. I find it funny. You know, a lot of us watch Paul. A lot of us watch each other. I find it interesting. You say you're the most evilest motherfucker. And I deal with motherfuckers, pogo motherfucker, evil motherfucker. People who, like Paul said, what makes me believe you're evil if you're so afraid of Paul or myself or things that
I'm
Wizard
not
has to
afraid
tell
of
you?
you. I'm not
you're
afraid
the
of
evilest
Paul.
motherfucker up here, you fucking cupcake. But you bring my
You have
name
no
up.
idea what I've
Wear
done.
my accessories, Snafu. I'm gonna wear my accessories.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
look
just
at
curious.
this.
I'm just curious. You're an evil fucking dude, bro. But you're triggered like a cupcake. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on?
Dude, I'm from the south side of Chicago. Mom and dad were both born and raised there. My family's all there. Come on. You're wearing
Don't
all
even
that
go
side,
there, man.
Triple bolts.
Gary, Indiana was a fucking it's East Chicago, brother. I live in the 808, man.
Dude,
I
the
packed
south
a
side-
pistol just to go to the gas station. Don't tell me about hard. Don't tell me about they just busted the house in front of me for one of the biggest fentanyl rings in this fucking city, man.
And you were
There's
probably the
just
number one
been-
customer, huh?
That's fucking news for the murders that are taking place here. Yeah,
Sure.
of course I work.
Your policy enforcers are your biggest threat on the fentanyl front, guy. So,
Let me
so
tell you
they're just
something, man.
putting out
Your
people
lawyers,
that they
your
sold
lawyers,
it to.
your lawyers are
Yeah,
helping that.
they're just fronting out the people they sold it to placate the population. That's why they need them. Get it right, slave.
Part of
No,
the
there's a
fucking
danger, a
problem.
prominent, real danger to your physical health in this
Do
plane
you
of
vote? Do
existence
you
in this
vote?
particular
Hey,
neighborhood.
Oh, I am. I just I'm beating lung cancer, guys, and I'm a big danger to my health. You cocksucking blasphemous fuck. Get the fuck out of here. I'm out for a while, Paul. This guy is just loony. He's
All right,
10
that's
times
fine. I
better.
wanted to talk to him anyway. Everyone's like, you don't like him, but y'all keep wanting to fucking
I like him.
dance
I
with
don't
him.
dislike
They
him, but
love it.
I don't think he's
They
honest. I think
love
he's a
feeding
fraud.
their egos.
People
Listen,
tend to
Egos. I'm
All right, let's
just
go another way, Axis Rap Blood. You influence the field, and I don't want to be on your bad side. I can't speak to the rest of these metaverse.
I yield. I'm muting that. I want to
Thank
listen.
you. Thank you. Please yield. Metaversal miscreants are unyielding today. They're unwieldy. They're unceasing. They have an unquenchable thirst for blood. So I've called off the dogs. Where do we go from here, sir? How do we move forward without you influencing my field in a negative way? Do I have to sacrifice an animal or something?
No, Paul.
Do you love
as an
me?
individual are a heavy influence upon a lot of people.
Do you love me, sir?
I'm not sure that I love anything.
That might be our problem, and I know what that feels like. And more each day, it's even scarier to me that I find myself loving more and more people because I've stepped into that place, right? So at one time, I didn't know what love was. You know, what is that, Rick Astley? You're familiar with that, isn't it? Isn't it Rick Astley?
No, I quit listening to modern music probably around 98. No radio, no commercial radio, no TV, no interaction with social fucking programming other than the internet.
But
Do
you're
you
gonna
feel-
educate us on the entertainment
Thank
business.
you, sir. Thank you. This is why you're going to Hollywood, Snafu, because you're so great with timing. So, Mr. Axis Rat Blood, sir.
Yes.
Do you feel close to me? Do you feel one with me? Do you feel like we are the same self, just from a different perspective?
We have similarities in the fact that we influence a lot of people. And you influence a lot of people through your channel. But you infringed on particular grounds that brought my attention to you.
Right.
You
So
stepped
what?
into my arena, and so did your disciples.
Right.
And I am the repercussion of you guys stepping in that arena.
All right. So what can I do at this time to resolve this issue that we have for stepping into your arena? I mean, I don't think any of us were really aware that this was your arena. Now that we've become aware, what is it we could do to mitigate the resistance that we find ourselves in with this field, this influence field?
I don't think there is a result to it, Paul, because other than just absolutely separating ourselves, and then that builds such a division amongst people. And you talk about unity. I believe in unity, but that's requiring acceptance, mass acceptance.
Right. Mass acceptance. There's a lot of noise still. A lot of noise going on. So mass acceptance of what exactly?
Earthlings,
Loved ones?
humans, all.
Okay. Well, I don't really have much choice, nor does anyone else really, to accept that we are all incarnating, as you say, in a meat suit at this time together and part of one verse we call the universe. So there's no problem with me in accepting that. It is what it is. So I accept what is. The question
But
is,
your
what do you,
influence is affecting others.
okay, now how would you say my influence is affecting others in a negative way?
I want to embark on a particular statement that I've heard that seems to come from you personally, is come correctly. Explain that, if you would, please.
So it basically means just come with the most authentic presentment that you can muster. It means speak from the heart. Don't give me the and ah and the belief systems and the projections.
Right.
Just tell me what it is you see about me. So you're like doing that. You know, you're not. We don't have to agree for you to come correct, because you're just telling me who and what you are and what it is you perceive. I don't have to align with it for you to not be.
Nor did I ask you to.
Right, and you're not really doing.
No one on this panel or in your chat or viewing to ascribe to what I ascribe to.
Right. I mean, if anything, it seemed like part of you was showing a loving aspect of self. You say you don't know what it is, but your inclination, the first time I've seen you, right? Because every other interaction before this has been typing, where you're basically kind of hating on me and we're having this back and forth power struggle game. But when we actually came up here with your face and voice, you were coming from a position of trying to warn people, it would seem. So that's like a loving, caring space, right?
If you perceive it as that.
Well, that's what it would be. That's what that is, right? So if we're like so left brain and worldly that we can't understand the right brain and emotional aspects of self, that's how that connects. So when someone says, wow, this person doesn't like me, they may not even respect me, but they're telling me the dangers that I may face going into an industry they went into, they're looking out for me. So that's care, right?
It's care. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Now, where we went over the line into the ego was, this is my realm, I know it all, you're going to be subject to the same thing I am, and you're going to respond and react the same way, and you can't presume that to be true.
No.
We stepped in your arena is what happened, right?
You guys infringed on a particular social media and created such a situation that, it drew my attention. So I started observing. I started observing you all. And
so where was the infringement?
And is there you guys?
It was a violation of conduct, which you claim that I'm doing.
What is that conduct?
Disrespect.
And that term you use very loosely, because I've never been on your platform, brother.
You need to go to the principal. You need to fucking cry to your mommy or daddy or fucking who. What do you need? Are you a fucking man who went on tour rocking it out? Or are you a little bitch ass Aussie cupcake looking fucking weirdo? And what's your channel? I want to know what your channel is.
Put it in the chat.
Axis Rat Blood. 363 subscribers. Gets about 25 to 35 views per video.
We all stepped in your arena, motherfucker. You don't even know who I am. You don't even know who Wizard is. You don't know who Paul is.
I know you from Ian's channel.
Me, motherfucker.
I know you from We Are Awake. You're the mouth.
Yeah, I am a mouth. I'm a mouth that calls it out. The optics are high.
And you did that on Ian's channel too. You are
Ian and Talcottism is what you're about. I see it. And Pogo, privately owned government operator, right? You think lawyers are good?
How old are you? Is that a wig?
I told you, man. I'm 54. My birthday was on Easter.
Was that disrespectful? But again, who are you gonna cry to? Like, why? We're so disrespectful. You're the evilest motherfucker on here. We're in your realm. This is fucking YouTube, homie. What are you gonna do? Just click the little flag button and report, like a little cupcake Karen Me Too triggered bitch? Or you can go cry to the principal, or you can just man up and say, I'm just a disrespected piece of shit.
Okay, Snafu, you got to know when to yield a little bit. It's like you want to just keep talking and talking. That's why you're the mouth. I am too, but you got to let him talk.
No, let him go, man. Let him get it all out. Let him get off his
Well,
little
he's
nasty salad.
also another
Bob, right.
insane person. See, I have a group of insane people who seem to collect around me. I'm like a whale that I'm just moving through the ocean, and there's all these little creatures that collect around me to kind of feed off of the droppings from my skin, whatever like comes out of my large mouth after a feeding time. There's all these little particles.
Exactly. And
So
you know
there's
that
all
carries
different
over to
types of
other channels.
creatures that collect for different reasons, right? So I'm
carries
just
over.
trying to figure out what. Thank you, Snafu. Thank you. Stellar performance as always.
I know. I just want to know how much is hot.
I know
Topic
you just
membership
want,
costs.
I'm sick and tired of what the children want, and don't want. So that's like why everyone gets this reaction from me, whether they're praising me, blaming me. I'm tired of what everyone wants. Not interested in what everyone wants. If I was, I'd have my own fucking children, not have to deal with grown children. Okay? And even then, I wouldn't be interested because I'm not interested in what I want, because it got me in trouble most of my life. So I'm not interested in what I want, what my little children want, what the little woman next to them wants, and what anyone else here wants, oddly enough. Because it's gotten us all where the fuck we are. Right? So my way has gotten me where I am. Right. Where am I?
And where
I'm
are
you? I'm in a place of succession in myself where I feel more loving, more faithful, more inspired, more powerful day by day, while also feeling fulfilled and peaceful. Regardless of the numbers on the screen, views go down, money goes down, doesn't change. I just have to question myself and what I'm doing and where I'm focusing. Okay? So that's where I am.
Very cautious about what you say, because when you influence other people and that carries over to other channels,
I am not responsible for how easily influenced most grown children are. They didn't have a mom and a daddy, and they go on a metaversal chamber to be influenced. Okay, a chamber of demons mostly. And then tell me about how I'm responsible for how manipulatable and influential these folks are able to be influenced and how much I'm influencing them. I'm tired of that dynamic. I'm tired of that dynamic. I'm not anybody's fucking hero. I'm not Enrique Iglesias. Okay? I'm not a fucking role model. Okay?
Are you trying to relate Paul to the guy with the cross on his forehead?
He said the cult of Paul.
Well, yeah, you said
that
the cult
you're
of
producing individuals with what you're saying that are infringing.
I'm not producing anything.
You're going to draw.
I'm not producing anything because
observe.
I'm nobody's mama and father, and I'm not God. So I'm not producing anything. If I'll take your word,
why did you say?
I may be influencing men and women to become more secure in themselves and in the silence and in the resource they have within them and in the empowerment they have within them, and then therefore become successful and experience succession in all areas of their life, starting from within. So that's all that I may be doing. And let's not even say that I set out to do that. It may have become that because I became aware of what my influence was. So I started to dedicate myself to that understanding and that purpose as I perceive it as God using me for its purpose. So my will is the will at this point until I am shown to be mistaken, which is always a possibility. It's happened before. It may happen again.
Here's where I stand with you, Paul. And this is our disposition. If you would like a bottom line on this.
Absolutely.
I have 4 platforms that I work on. My biggest platform is Facebook. That's the cult of access. My YouTube channel, as you see, has only been up for a couple months as an active channel. 3 months. One video has 58,000 views. I influence a lot of people with music and with quantum mechanics and the state of our existence, but they don't go out and infringe with my name upon other channels, other people, and the influence that these people are personifying always has your name on it.
Yeah, because I'm a genius marketer, sir. I didn't have to take marketing classes to figure out that when you sell yourself, you brand without branding. So I did that purposely, consciously and unconsciously. The spirit was doing it, and then I realized what it was. And then I just
And
ran
you
with it. That's
created
usually how it
nothing more,
happens.
and
So
you
right,
created nothing more than a bunch of little Pauls.
in order for me to do what I do and have a fresh supply of broken hose coming and going, hopefully when they leave, they're better than when they came. That's the idea. I need to have
That's the
folks.
problem.
Right, I know. And that's why folks like you are so upset. You don't ever want the broken hose to become fixed and resolved and have resolution. You want them to be dissolute like you. That's why the cult of
No.
Axis Rat Blood
Praise upon him.
takes such umbrage with what I'm doing, because I'm freeing souls from their bondage to the shaitan. Many of you
You're
from many
creating little
corners of
Pauls.
this, yes, I've had enough experience to know I've gotten more faithful coming on the metaverse, the deadverse, because I realize who and what you all are and what you stand for, whether you know it or not. I'm not attacking you. I'm telling you, you're being avatared, because that force can't stand to see me walk motherfuckers out one by one out of their bondage and slave chains. It can't stand it. It's writhing. It's writhing around. Can't conceive that Paulie the gorilla, the one we counted out, labeled, put on drugs, put into the institutions, destroyed his mama, and all the rest of it, crashed and burned and rose higher like the phoenix, and is now taking a whole bunch of slaves with them. They can't stand it. They've worked so long and so hard to keep everyone where they're
Sounds like
at,
Charles
and they
Manson to
can't
me.
believe what the creation has put forth and how simple it is.
Sounds like Charles Manson.
Sounds like you're doing a
You
cult of Axis
personify
Rat
Charles
Blood. I think
Manson? Is that what you're
you
trying to
have a
personify?
page. You have a page called Cult of Axis Rat Blood where you are the head. Maybe you're projecting, sir. I'm not the one dressed up acting like Charles Manson. I'm the only one on my land with another family right now. My cult is the only cult where everyone does for themselves.
You are the axis of you. Everything that evolves around you is the axis of you. An axis line is not a visible line, and it exists in everything. Axis is a metaphor for the actual axis of everything.
Are you saying that we are cult members who watch Paul, who maybe tune in, who fucking just
You act
I
like
think
it.
you're a cupcake, but you know what? Fuck you. I ain't a cult member, but you're the one who calls yourself a cult. But are you saying everyone who watches Paul, who tunes in, you say you had 48, that motherfucker, my first channel suppressed you like a little bitch boy cupcake. Who cares how much you got? It's obviously you're clout chasing for subs and this and that too. What my question is, you think we're all cult members? Every one of us?
Most
The
of my
viewers,
subscribers are from
Paul,
India.
you know?
Biggest
He
part of
came
my
up with an
subscribers are
intent
from
and he didn't like,
India.
so now he's deflecting.
No,
Yeah,
I'll go
you're the one
directly
with
back
cult
into what you were
movement.
saying.
You're the one who's marketing cult. You're publicly marketing it. You're not even ashamed of it. Deflection at a big. I mean, you're publicly marketing the cult mentality, the cult look, the cult ideals, and yet you sit here and call this dude a cult. But I tune in and watch because of people and his message. Everyone's truth, yo, motherfucker, even yours. You got a truth, yo, too. You show you're a fucking cupcake.
Why don't you look at the fact that I'm looking at the real? Anyone who is influenced by another person is basically a part of
Bro,
their
you're
cult.
pissing me the fuck off, and I'm not going to let you on here until you learn to control yourself. Part of the problem with this metaverse is you all spend too much time on here with other people making back and forth conversation and not working with yourself. Okay? And no one's going to turn around and make that claim to me, because it's not going to be true, and the results are going to speak for themselves. I could sit here for 2 hours and not say a word, and everyone will leave. Okay? Call it ego if you want. I watched it fucking happen. All right? So the bottom line is, if you're going to fucking talk and let him respond, let him respond. Be responsible and allow him to be the same. If you're not going to be, then you got your own problems and shouldn't even be talking to him. And this is a pattern you exemplify since the beginning of when I've known you. Just like I had to come back here and tell a whole bunch of people about their life patterns, and then they go to getting this energy in the room. Paulie's back in town with his ego and arrogance. Yeah, I'm getting us all right.
Yeah, I just
Okay?
want to hear why he thinks we're all cult members.
Okay, but
That's
stop
my
fucking cutting
question.
him off because
I
it's
yield.
pissing me and everyone off. They've told you from the beginning. We even try hard to love you and be endeared with you, and we like you now. We couldn't stand you in the beginning. I'm speaking for everyone now, the royal we, because I'm watching how everyone's perceived. But we love you now, Snafu Snaps. But you also have to ride that line, just like I do. I'm not above it, right? I have to let other people talk, or they'll start to say, Paulie's doing all the talking. He cuts everyone off. Doesn't let everyone talk. So I'm trying to let everyone talk, and then it doesn't happen because folks can't govern themselves. Then I have to govern the room, and then I get in a flow, and then I talk too much. Can we just find a rhythm in this life? In anything we do, can we find a secure flow space that's rhythmic and harmonious and balanced and centered possibly?
Oh, the rhythm
Like
is
you
I'm
said.
watching the optics, dude. That's all I'm doing. I'm watching the optics, and I see this guy, and I also see you, Paul, but I see everyone. This guy thinks we're a cult. I want to know he thinks all the viewers, subs.
Right. So stop being emotionally invested in what he thinks and feels and just question him and get your emotions out of the way, and we'll all be better off because you might have a perspective. So just fucking get your emotions out of the way and ask them the questions and get the answers and go further with it and unwrap the package, peel back the onion and the layers.
Bingo. Well said. Very well said. I thank you for that, Paul. I thank you for that greatly.
Well, I'm influencing the field, sir.
I understand that quite well.
Cupcakes
But
usually
this is
do.
what you're producing that's coming off of your channel.
I haven't produced this. His mama and daddy produced that. How dare you blame me for these spiritual children, many of which I wouldn't be in the room with if we didn't have a common bond and purpose, including you, which is where we're going in our lives and in this world, okay? And what we're all going to have to deal with if we don't focus on that. So don't give me credit or the culpability of producing men and women. I influence the field. I didn't produce it, and I don't produce the productions of the field, right?
But it's coming from you, Paul.
No, I don't tell Snafu Snaps and everyone else to live their life the way they do, present the way they do, converse the way they do, love the way they do, withhold love the way they do, be dysfunctional the way they do, be egoic the way they do, think everyone knows what the fuck they're talking about their life story the way they do, when most don't and don't care. So I don't produce any of that. I'm witnessing all that day in and day out, and I'm trying to influence that field in whatever way is possible.
And I understand that. But you're drawing and sending as a receiver and a producer some very, very skewed individuals.
No, let's get the statement right. Some very skewed individuals come to this arena because they resonate with me, because I might be at one time, and some will say still, a very skewed individual. So they resonate with that aspect of me, either my past, present, or future. Okay, so I'm not going to get credit or culpability for skewed individuals being attracted to me like a whale moving through the ocean, attracting creatures to feed off of or with inadvertently. Hello?
That's all I was waiting for. Y'all have a good day.
I didn't do that. I don't know what just happened. He left.
I still want to know what was wrong with the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I think that's self-evident to anybody who has the eyes to see, ears to hear, and heart to feel. Oh, wait, that's a big if, because the kingdom of heaven is few, and the majority of the slaves are in the hands of the dark one. So they're in darkness, the land of the blind, leading the blind. Right? In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. I might be a one-eyed man. Cyclops, I guess. They've called me that. Dave called me a something along those lines. Some kind of mythical beast creature.
Axel Pose, though, was searching for something he hasn't found yet in life after 50 some odd years.
He's back. He had some technical difficulties, I suppose.
I yield.
Yeah, my Frontier is not the best provider for services. They say that they're high speed and they're producing, well, I guess they claim 5G, but occasionally the internet connection cuts and I lose connection.
You know what it is we're influencing the field so heavily they don't want this conversation. Because
That's a
the
good
more
possibility.
the more that we talk, see, it doesn't matter how much we run from ourselves. We always get back to self. And I am you on some level, as much as it pains me to admit that with the black nail polish. So, you know, they don't want us having these conversations where the field gets influenced away from controversy, away from gossiping and hating, away from blaming others and victiming, to true inspiration, love and care and self-empowerment and acceptance beyond the disagreements.
And if that's what you were producing, I would have no qualms with you whatsoever. But unfortunately, Paul, your influence is creating less than respectable people.
No. Let's try it. We'll do it as many times as we
Let
need
me
to.
get some of it, Paul, please.
Sir, please, 1 second.
All right.
I am not responsible for grown men and women who are already disreputable for what they do before, during, and after they leave this broadcast. They are already that. I'm working with them for them to become better if they let me. If not, they're just part of an experience we're all having here. I can't be responsible for having to teach others who may not choose to learn. I may not be deemed as someone credible enough to teach someone, even if they're wanting to learn. So there's a lot of dynamics at play here in the interpersonal experience and relationships, and we have to take all of that into account. We cannot tunnel vision on out of context things that I do and say, and then make a grandiose leap and say, I'm creating all these fucked up people out here in the world. You and I know that ain't the case, right?
Rat Blood, I think that's your name. Obviously, what Paul said is true. These people were broken before they got here. And I would like to say, you're talking about the accusing him of producing negative motherfuckers. What about the cats that he's benefiting, right?
Oh, I respect that. I respect that. If they are bettering themselves as a three-dimensional being, an earthling, and they're doing less harm than they were, more power to them.
Yes, he is giving me tools to go out here and fight these clowns with, right? You know, he's giving me some wisdom and knowledge, tools that I can use that I didn't even have before. And not just him, all the fucks he bring up on his panel are in depth about the ways to fight the government and ways to free yourself and free your mind from that bullshit brainwashing that you've been going through all your life. These cats are beneficial. You're not overlooking that, right?
No, not at all. Actually, that's an aspect that I did take into consideration.
All right.
But the majority is the voice. And the ones that truly have changed and realize that they are just a singular aspect, I have respect for them.
All right, I backed it up. It looked like you came on him to teach the young man. Only watched, I'm goofy, only watched maybe 60 seconds or something. But when you popped up, you said, yes, you caught my attention. I've come over here, I'm paraphrasing from here on out, to teach you your wrongs and your shortcomings.
No, I actually originally came on here because I come out of the music industry. I understand giving up self to achieve a goal that you thought was a dream that turned out.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, sir. And that's what I said. I appreciate you showing care for me, but I'm telling you from all my perceptions, and you just may be right and I may be wrong down the road. I'm not giving up. I'm not in this for that.
I'm not asking you to give up. I'm telling you there are pitfalls that I am aware of that may educate you, Paul.
It's possible, in which case I will keep you as a consultant and I will refer to you. No, seriously, I will defer to you or at least confer with you if these things come up. But let's not forget that I live my life on a principle of walking in faith, not by sight, with a Holy Spirit. So that thing has been protecting me before I even knew it was there, let alone once I realized, oh, wow, something's now there. I realized that it's always been there, and I'm going to work
Maybe
with
that
that.
same Holy Spirit drew me to you to allow you to know some pitfalls that are involved
It's
with the
possible.
entertainment industry.
It's possible. I don't rule it out. Again,
I don't either.
The Holy Spirit will use, I'm not saying you are that. If you are, is the worst case scenario. The Holy Spirit or the simulation will use the darkest motherfuckers to teach you the most sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm aware of that.
And that's all I was doing, Paul, was to come on here and allow you to know some information that I had to go through personally. That was devastating to my concept of what being famous was.
Right, but that's the thing, is that I'm already infamous to the people who run that system and to this world. I'm not seeking fame. That's already been achieved. When I went, I'm very low standard. I'm not like Jeffrey from Dead Awake, whatever his band was, Waking Dead, all the same shit. Right. When I went to 3 different stores in the middle of nowhere and they walked up to me and said, "We know you from YouTube," I said, "I'm already famous." That's already famous to a degree. But I was infamous before I was famous, right? So I hold to where I come from and who and what I am and what I stand for. And I'm not infamous because I cause loss, injury, and harm. I'm infamous because I stand for what's true and what's right. Speak it, and I'm willing to go to a box or die for it, even if it scares me, especially if it scares me, because fear is not going to run my life.
And that's your belief.
Right. And I have to take
That's
me
your
in that
perspective.
anywhere that I go. And that's where I find my solace and security. So I would never give that up because I've already seen what it's like to have everything stripped and taken from you, have no phone, have no broadcast, have nobody there, and have to go to a box. You better hope you can find solace and empowerment when you're there. So I've experienced that enough to know that I will never give that up, because you could take fame away, you could take access away to it, you could take the money that comes with it, and then the motherfucker that's left over is going to be in pain and suffering and regret.
Oh yeah.
So after regret and
Good
pain and suffering,
observation and life experience. I did not know that about you.
Red Blood, you say you were in the music or entertainment industry, yeah?
Yes, I was.
And you saw some way, then some parallels with what Paul is doing, and you thought you could teach him or advise him on how to avoid some of the potholes. Was there any that you see, any advice that you can give now from where you come from to the cat in his position?
Okay, this is painful, but it's a reality. Is you have a road manager, you have a tour manager, and you answer to the record company. And during your endeavors, you will be the personification of what that particular
I gotta
label.
stop you, bro. I gotta stop you right there. That's what I'm saying. We don't live from this. Is why folks think I'm so arrogant, because the root of who and what we are is not the same at this time. I'm not saying we're not all able to be that. I'm not saying it's better. It works for me at this time. So I don't have road managers. I don't have a bunch of white people around me or anybody, right? But this is what it tends to be in Hollywood: a bunch of white people who are going to be your yes men and backbite on you when you're back.
Paul, this was This is Scott. It's pardon me for interrupting, but he's disingenuous. He's saying you're on the road, you're listening to the studio and the executives and stuff.
Sir, please, I don't need my next road manager to tell this guy that I don't have road managers. This is what I'm just saying. You came to me, you said we're going to go on the road, and you had that Harry Carey affect. Okay, it's LA to me. Fine. What you're talking is good stuff. If you live on that, we're never going to have a problem. The moment I detect you to be an infidel, I'm gone. Okay, I'm going to give you the opportunity to repent, to see what the fuck I'm saying. When you try to play me and yourself, I'm going to read you like a book, and I'm out. So I don't have road managers. I don't have lawyers. I don't have yes men. I don't have producers. I don't have moderators. I don't have none of that. The Christed Spirit stands tall and walks alone, and everything is done and nothing is undone.
Road Blood, how does that analogy apply to Paul of the road manager and that? How did that apply to Paul?
Hey, Mike, check, Mike.
Hold on. First, let me just Let me just say hello to my daddy. Greetings, daddy.
Oh,
That's
hey,
my
man, I
father's
didn't see
down
you.
there.
Nice to see you.
This man is right. This fucking channel has no respect for nobody. Everybody talks over everybody. And I'm your manager, and you know it, man. You know I'm your fucking road manager. So don't throw this bullshit around here. This man is right. Let
He's doing
everybody
a
talk
bit.
one.
He's doing a bit.
He's trolling you. Yes, he's
doing a
trolling
bit.
you.
You guys talk. You guys fucking talk over each other. No fucking respect for nobody. This man is right, man. Get this guy respect. Show some fucking respect on this fucked up channel.
He's doing,
Do you see Jack Talcott acting this way?
I was just gonna say.
Did you see Jack Talcott?
And I was just gonna say he's doing the bit he does with Talcott, where he plays up to everybody.
Oh, I'm not doing no bit. Bullshit.
You're trolling. It's funny.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bit.
It's not a bit, man. Let this man talk without trashing him.
All right, you advocate for him. Go ahead. I'll let you.
I'm not advocating. He was right though. A little respect for this guy. He should go to Jack's show to get respect and spirituality.
Right now, my own father, my manager's pulling people off my platform. Jack.
Right.
That makes sense. The managers and friends like these, you don't need enemies. I agree. So, sir, I already told the man that I respect him coming up here, showing me his face, and doing so out of a concern and care, it would seem, even though he told me he's a devil, death worshiper, and doesn't know love. I don't accept that. I see better in him. I know who and what he is, even beyond what he knows about himself. How could someone tell me he doesn't know what love is, and then I see his first action toward me in the flesh, not down in the chat? He was being hateful.
That's right.
Game. But when he came up here, he was showing love and care. So he may not know himself and that he has love and care, but I know that already. That's why I say many times I know folks.
Paul, I could believe that. You've been extremely kind. You know what I'm saying? With some of the things, you see somebody jump up here, you see whatever disingenuous is, and you jump on them. This guy, I can believe you saw something. You've been extremely fucking kind. And
I comfort the afflicted, and I afflict the comfortable in their ego. So when you want to get in your ego and get comfortable, I'm going to afflict you. You want to be afflicted, I'm going to comfort you. This man I perceive as afflicted. I'm not victiming for him. I'm saying he's coming up out of care because he's from a system that's probably destroyed him and he's had to rebuild on some level.
Yes.
That's fine, but let him say what he's got to say. Everybody ripping the shit out of the
I already been saying that in all of my
I know that, but I'm coming in to reinforce it because typically that's what happens with these fucking people coming.
Putting you up top because you're so honorable today. Thank you.
I am honorable.
Yeah, I'll smudge you guys so that we can find some peace.
Hey, mic check.
Who's the other guy? Every other word's fuck you, motherfucker, fuck this, fuck that. That's his vocabulary? Who's this, snafufu? This is his vocabulary? That's all he knows?
Well, sir, not everybody's as intelligent as you and such
That's
a great
true. That's true.
See, that's true.
I don't think he understood I was being sarcastic. Let's move forward. Snafu, please. My father's telling you, like I've told you, ease up. You know, you're a little bit too rowdy, rough around the edges. But they say the same about me, so and verbose and obnoxious.
No, he makes you look tame.
Right. That's my father saying that. So, you know, you have to think about that. He's all too ready to insult me. He's now standing up for me. So you might want to think about that. Sir, go ahead, Mr. Axes Rat Blood, the Honorable Axes Rat Blood. Go ahead, sir. And
there was a question on the table. How did your analogy of your leaders and stuff, how were you relating that to Paul? What lesson was he supposed to obtain from that, or whatever the word I'm looking for?
I'm sorry. I'm using my phone.
All right. It's really rude of you, Rat Blood. I'm kidding.
Hey,
I was asking.
What would you like for me to light up my laptop and come back?
No, you
maybe
good.
My mainframe.
You're fine with it. Can you hear me?
You know, this was just convenient for me to be able to come on here at this point in time.
Okay.
You know, modern conveniences. I don't have many, but the ones that I do have, I utilize.
Right.
Do you want to hear from Wes Watson quickly, sir? A few hours ago, you might. I'd like to see you and Wes Watson have a conversation.
Hey, Paul,
We
how you
never
doing,
got-
bro?
Game.
Yeah, we never got to breaking news. We're already 2.5 hours in. I might have to save the breaking news for tomorrow, I guess. I can't do breaking news. It's very important. I can't do it 2.5 hours in, burying the lead. Right?
They ain't breaking no more.
Yeah.
I think we've had enough of this insanity.